Welcome to another Reality Check VR video. Today we're going to talk about the best gaming chair ever. That's right, some of you may know I have a 4D FX haptic feedback transducer chair with Bluetooth enabled. It allows me to play games like Elite Dangerous, Project Cars, War Thunder, pretty much any simulation at all, with much more realism and immersion, especially when you pair it with things like the DK2 and a set of headphones. DK2, headphones, chair, and you're there. I personally like to use the Satek X52 Pro when I'm doing the flight games, and otherwise I've got a little steering wheel you can see that's also up there for the driving games. It's pretty amazing how your mind can actually get so immersed into something. The moment you actually feel the transducers, the immersion really kicks in. As you also can see, I've got one of those UKRifter haptic feedback vests, and this also really helps. So when you're wearing the vest, sitting in the chair, and doing all those things at once, it's really impossible to explain. You've got to feel it to believe it. So recently I've had people sending me messages asking me exactly what my build was, what I used to make the chair, and I'd like to at least answer those questions and visually show you what I've done to it. I also got the question, if you're on a starter budget, do you think that one Aurora shaker would be enough, or does it really need two to make the experience worthwhile? Well, I do have two Aurora base shakers, as well as two Dayton Transducer audio pucks on the back, and although they do help a lot in immersion, I would definitely say one Aurora base shaker is enough, especially if you're on a starter budget and you want to do one amplifier, a small amplifier with one base shaker. It's going to be great. It's going to be so much more immersive than what you're having without that. And although the UKRifter vest is still one cool unit, it does nothing comparative to having your chair shake and rumble. Especially when you're in like a fighter ship or a jet and you feel the thrusters. I mean, I have to turn it down to like 20%, otherwise I'd be waking up all my neighbors, and especially the people below me, because I mean, the room thinks that I'm in a rocket ship, and so do I. Anyway, let's get on with the video and I'll show you what we're talking about here. Briefly, pick it up as the bottom of my chair. You know, it's got some amplifiers, some Bluetooth things. Let's take a closer look. time for a brief overview of how the chair works. At first, we'll take this 3.5mm jack, which is coming from my computer, which is over there, and it is currently playing one of my Elite Dangerous videos. So we will take that. Hey, puppy. Yep, Casper eating some pig stuff. Alright, so we go over here to where the 3.5 jack input is. Yep, right there. Boom. It's my 3.5 jack input. We've disabled the Bluetooth, which, of course, the Bluetooth unit is right up there in the front. It's being powered through USB through the back of one of these amps, which is showing you right there. Output 5 volts on the amp. So that is how we power the Bluetooth, which was, of course, which was being run by my Kindle tablet, which is laying on the ground over there, which currently is turned off of the Bluetooth. So anyway, we put in this 3.5 jack, which is playing the game sounds. If we turn up this knob is controlled to the transducers on the back as well as the exciters. Would it just turn that up here? Oh, yep, Elite Dangerous sounds coming through. Alright, so this is just the in-game sounds. Got exciters right in here, as well as these transducers are on a very low setting. So you can actually feel the volume in your chair. Let's go ahead and turn the volume down. One thing to keep in mind is not only can you feel the volume in your chair, it's amazing just listening to music in this thing. Just listening to music is an experience worth having. So we'll go over here. This next one over here is going to be the Aurora transducers on bottom. And if I turn that up, you can start to hear it really rumbling. Of course, you can turn the actual volume, so you just got the transducers going now. This is just the transducers going with no volume. You can still hear some volume coming through a little bit, but oh whoa. Feels crazy. This, you can't tell, but this one little chair in my living room is actually making the whole living room kind of even shake. I've got to have the volume turned down for you guys to be able to hear it. So, if I add some volume back into it. So like I said, if you've got your headphones on, you can just completely turn off the volume. So you've just got the transducers going, and you can control the transducers with your little dial pad. What this is just your standard headphone amplifier jack. And what it does is it gives you not only 4 different spots to output headphone, it also gives you an amplified signal. So everything that you plug into it's just a little more powerful than before it came in, which also really helps a lot for if you're using that wonderful little thing over there, the UKRifter vest. If you're using the UKRifter vest, which I have hooked right into the system here, you can see that we've got the receiver right there. When I plug it in, I've also got the connection right here for my UKRifter. So when I go to level 3 and I turn this up, when my UKRifter vest is actually plugged in, it is more powerful than it was before. So it's actually kind of a nice thing to have on there because it just gives you that extra kick in the chest. And then of course my level number 4 over here, this one is completely separate over here to this output. So anything that you plug into this output on the back, whether it be headphones or just going back into another speaker signal source, anything that you want to go to through that will be powered through level 4 right here. So you've got your separate control for every single jack that comes in. Like I said, you've got your level 1, which controls your speaker output. You turn that up and you can actually hear it. And one thing to keep in mind, you can't really tell, but when you're sitting in the chair, this volume is actually coming through your chair at you through your chest. I've got the exciters pointed inwards, so you can still hear it right now, but when you're actually sitting in the chair, it sounds like this volume is coming and kind of giving you a big hug. There's no good way to describe that other than saying just that. The volume is giving you a big ol' hug when you're sitting there, sitting in the chair. So we'll turn that volume and the transducers. Oh my gosh, they're just so crazy. And we're just listening to an Elite Dangerous game, it makes me really want to jump in and actually play one of these games. Because when you're sitting there playing with the chair kind of feeling, it's not like it's just shaking. It's not a massage chair. There's a whole big difference to a massage chair and a transducer chair. A transducer chair actually makes you feel like you're there next to the explosions, to the movement, to the impacts that are happening, because you feel the different wave signals through your body in a way that you couldn't feel otherwise. And I'm telling you, it's crazy. So, I guess lastly, just to explain what we've got all my signals going in there. I've got my left and my right signal separately going to each different amplifier. Left signal going to that amp, a right signal going to that amp, or vice versa. That one's left and the other one's right. I've got this other core effects vest thing being powered by the other amp, because both amps give an output of the 5 volts, which you can see down there on the bottom. A little USB output on there, which is nice. They're not the most powerful amps, but they work, especially if I'm using both of them. They work just fine. Also in the back here we have 2 Dayton exciters, which I've shown in a previous video. If you look at my videos, you can find the exciter little review of those, which is awesome. Also down here in the bottom I've got 2 Dayton audio pucks. That's just to give me some rumble on the top of my chair. I wanted the more immersion that I could, the most immersion that I could get, and I figured that probably the best way to get the immersion is to have my whole chair feel like it was in the rocket ship. And now when I'm playing those games, it's incredible. It's just a whole different kind of experience. So hopefully I've answered some questions and shown you guys at least what I've built and what you can build. If you have any specific questions on what you might need for it, other than like speaker cable and lots of tape, gaff tape is available on Amazon. It's pretty cheap there. I'll flip the chair over now. Alright, well I hope that video gave some good insight onto how this chair works and inspires you to want to build something similar. I do have something else related to haptic feedback that I've been working on, and a friend of mine. Hopefully we'll get a chance to reveal that soon. Once again, thanks for watching. If you have any more questions, please just let me know in the comments below. Спасибо. Спасибо.